Hi everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to do your resin jewelry. I know I promised that like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I know I haven't gotten to it, and I apologize for that. But today, right now in this video, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all of them in, but I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to need, or actually all the things you're going to need to make your resin jewelry, and what their purpose is and the best ways to use them. Then either later on in the video, or if it allows for time, then I'll show you actually how to make the resin jewelry. And then after that there'll be another video showing you how to clean up the resin jewelry and turn them into things. Okay? So the first thing you're going to have to do is find a good sturdy work surface, such as a table or a countertop that is sturdy, not shaking or wobbling. You'll also need a covering. Like right now, I just have a plastic garbage bag and then a little work pad thing. You can use an old plastic tablecloth. You can go to the dollar store and get a really cheap one, or just like I said, a garbage bag. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You might want to be careful because resin will get over on top of things, and it's almost impossible to get off, and it will ruin your surface, and especially clothes. So don't wear anything you really like or any good clothes when you're doing this as well. Okay, and if you be careful, because this can be toxic, and if you have any small cats or dogs, put them in another room, which is what I had to do with my kitten because he was getting nosy, so I put him in his room. Okay, and plus you don't want fur flying and landing in your resin jewelry. So even if your cats are behaving, if they're not sleeping, I put them in the other room. Alright, the very first product you're going to need is some Easy Cast resin. And you're going to need it in the clear. Now the reason why I suggest Easy Cast, if you're a beginner and you're new at this, it's cheap and it's more available than the other kinds, and it's much easier for you to use. But you want to make sure you're getting the clear. So when you look at it, when you get the box, make sure it says clear, because they do come in colors, but you really don't need the colors, especially if you're just starting out. And I'll show you why and the reasons as we go along. The other thing is it does come in 2 sizes. I got the smaller box, and you really don't need a huge box unless you're more experienced and you're making them to sell. So, because a little of this goes a long way. You'll be surprised. You only need very little, and you can make a couple of trays of jewelry. So don't buy, if you're like first starting out, don't buy the big box, unless that's all you can find. Another reason I say buy the smaller box. Make sure, like I said, it's the clear Easy Cast resin. Alright, this was $11.99, but you can get a coupon, either print one out or use your phone. I got it at Hobby Lobby. They also have them at Michael's and probably any other craft store. If you can't find them in your local craft store, they also have them at Walmart and online. And I'm not sure the prices anywhere else, but at Hobby Lobby it was only $11.99, and you can, like I said, get a coupon for that. Now the first thing you got to remember is, if you do buy the big box or even the little one, once you open it, you should start to use it within a month, because the resin will go bad, and what will happen is it won't cure correctly, and before it doesn't cure correctly, your resin's going to be yellow. So it's going to have a yellow tinge, and the longer it sits and the more it goes bad, the yellower it gets, and then it won't cure properly or cure at all. So you don't want to waste your charms and your time. And what I mean by charms is you're going to get things to put inside, and I'll show you that later. Okay, so get the clear one, the Easy Cast resin. Make sure it's a smaller box, And like I said, there's other resins out there. Some are industrial usage and you really can't use them in the house. You'd have to have a backyard or somewhere outside because the fumes can be really bad and give you a headache and make you sick and just linger in the house, and they could be toxic. So you don't want to do that. That's why I don't suggest, unless you're a professional and you're experienced and you're making them to sell in a high volume. So you only need some Easy Cast resin in the clear. Okay. And it looks like this. You're going to get the hardener in one bottle and then the resin itself in another. And it'll have a pamphlet, okay? The next item you're going to want to get are these clear cups. Now, the reason why I get these cups, and you're only going to need to use 2, but I would get a whole thing like this. I got this at my grocery store. They have the taller ones, but get the shorter ones, and you want to make sure they're clear because you have to see how much you're putting in. Now, on other resin videos, you might already know, if you've made them or watched those before, that they're going to show you to you can reuse your cups, or you can use the tops of, like a NyQuil bottle, those little plastic medicine dosage cups, or you can use the bottom of a clear plastic soda bottle. You just cut them, and then they say that you can reuse them by just wiping all the extra resin and letting it sit and harden. It might have worked for them, and I don't know what kind of resin they're using, but it never worked for me. I listened to them, I tried that, and I cleaned it really good, and I even waited for whatever wouldn't come out to harden. But this is the problem. You're going to have residue from the last resin, and it might not have dried all the way, or lint from a rag that you've wiped it, or you might get soap if you're going to rinse it, and water, and whatever is going to be in there might affect the resin from curing properly or from curing at all. So my first batch didn't turn out good. I ended up having to throw away my whole tray, and it was the only tray I had, and I had to buy another one. So to avoid that, buy these cups. Make sure they're clean. There's a little something in here. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's on the outside. Make sure they're clean, because you don't want to get anything in there. And you're going to pour just a little bit of resin, and when I actually start doing it, you'll see, and I'll actually show you. And to start off, you're only going to need a little bit. And you have to make sure it's the same amount of hardener and the same amount of resin, and you only need like about that much. Believe it or not, it will go a really long way. And you're only practicing, so you don't want to do like a lot of trays and spend a lot of time and money, because if you're just starting out, you want to make sure you do it correctly. You don't want to waste stuff and have to spend more money buying all new and throw out that if it didn't come out right. So just pick up these. These are shorter. They do have taller ones. If that's all you got, that's fine. Just use it, because you're not going to fill these. You're never going to fill them. And make sure it's clear, because you have to see that you're making an exact amount. They have to be even. You can't have more hardener than resin. You can't have more resin than hardener, because what will happen is that it won't cure correctly or cure at all. Okay. So now, the next thing you're going to need is a good pair of gloves. These are just plastic, gloves that you wash dishes with. They're not latex because I'm allergic, and they have the ones, I forgot what you call them, but they're the opposite of them. So if you're allergic to latex, just go into your grocery store, they have them. You need gloves. Don't think you can get away with not getting any on your hand, because I used to work with professional epoxy resin at a manufacturer doing filters and whatnot with real resin epoxy, like really heavy duty, and it ate away at my skin, and I was itchy, and I was miserable. This will do it too, to a lighter degree. You will get maybe some itchy sores, and you might feel a little itchy and dry, It depends if you're sensitive or not. Either way, you don't want this on your skin. It's not good. It's toxic. You definitely don't want it on your skin. Wear gloves. Don't be stubborn. Okay? And with these gloves, what I do is when you're doing them, you're going to have them on your hands. So when I'm cleaning up, I just take them to the sink, turn on the faucet with my elbow, get some soap, like I was washing my hands, but with the gloves on. And I rinse them really good, and I stick them on the drain board to dry. So definitely gloves. Another thing you're going to need is stir sticks. These are called skinny sticks. Okay? Skinny sticks. And the reason why I recommend these instead of getting like popsicle sticks or tongue depressors, because you're going to need them thinner because of many other uses, and I'll show you when I'm doing that. And you don't want to get a big one because you also, when you're stirring, you don't want to get bubbles in your resin because then it'll show up in your jewelry. So you really should use like one of these stir sticks. Another thing is you're going to need toothpicks, and toothpicks are relatively cheap. You can get them anywhere, grocery store, whatever. You're definitely going to need not Q-tips, toothpicks. So you're going to need toothpicks and stir sticks. Now you can get these at any craft store. I forget if I got this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but you can get them there. They're called skinny sticks. And I still have a bunch left. They come, yeah, let me see how much is it, 75, because I wipe them. I keep paper towels and I wipe them. You can reuse these, but not too many times. If it's got a glob, you don't want to mess with it. And the next thing is you're going to need a straw, because you're not going to drink it, but because resin makes a lot of bubbles and you have to mix it. For 3 minutes, you're going to mix it. Once you pour the hardener in the resin, you're going to mix it. Now resin gets hot. It's not going to get as hot as professional resin where it actually will start smoking the glass, but it will get hot. It heats up. That's why you have, once you mix this, don't start talking on your phone or anything. You don't have that kind of time because it starts curing. So you do have some time to play with it, but not to take like a phone call. Shut your phones off. I know a lot of people have a cell phone addiction, but when you're doing resin, you can't just walk away from it. You've got to make sure you have plenty of time. That's the first thing you need, time. So make sure you have a straw. I don't care what kind, just a straw, because once you pour the hardener in the resin and you stir it for a full 3 minutes, get a timer, whatever, it has to be a full 3 minutes. And you don't want to go crazy stirring it. But I'll show you all that when I'm actually doing it. And then you're going to lightly take the straw above it and blow gently to get as much of the bubbles out. And you're also going to do that over your tray when you're done pouring it. So you need a straw. So skinny sticks, toothpicks, straws, cups, and your easy resin and your gloves. Okay, another thing you're going to want to keep nearby is a roll of paper towels because it can get messy and drippy. And like I said, when you're done stirring this, you might want to leave it in your cup because these stir sticks are really good to like just drip the resin. So if you're pouring it in, I'll show you that. It's kind of hard to explain it. You actually have to see what I mean. But it's good to keep paper towels nearby. Okay, another thing you're going to need is some wax paper. Now, I had wax paper, but I ran out. And when I went to the store, they didn't have any more. They had parchment paper, the non-stick. I'm not sure how this is going to work compared to the wax paper, but what I do is I use it to put my cups on, and then on the other side I have another piece to put my like toothpick and my stir stick and anything else I might be needing. Okay, so like 2 little pieces like this, and then you're going to want a big square piece because, or whatever size, because the next thing you're going to need is something like this. Let me move these. get this out of your way. Okay, so you're going to need like a tote, Tupperware tote type thing, because once you put your trays in there, and I'm going to show you the different kinds of trays to cure, because you have to leave your resin jewelry once you're done mixing, pouring, and all that. Now this is wax paper, and I fit a nice piece. Make sure it's smooth and fits well, because you don't want it all bunched up, because you have to keep your trays level. You know, let's kind of see what happens when the resin gets in there, but you can pick it off. But I have a new one. You see what these are? Your next thing, I'll get to that. After your plastic tote, now I got this at Michael's. I can't tell you how much it was on sale, but you can get them anywhere. These are the best kind to get because they're stackable and you can see through. So if you just put it in and you notice that your charm shifted, you can go in there and quickly, you know, before everything cures, you can straighten it. And I'll show you all about that when we're doing that. So that's another thing. You're definitely going to need to put it in something to keep the air and the dust. It helps it to cure, because sometimes when it's just sitting out in the open, it may not cure. So to keep the air in it and from getting to it and from dust and whatever floating in there, you have to put it in a container of some sort. It's a nice flat, even container. Okay, now here are the trays. They're little, some of them are messy, some of them are new, and they come in different shapes. Now you can get them at Hobby Lobby, you can get them at Michael's, and there's a really good craft for resin site. It's called Resin Obsession. It's all one word. And I've ordered from there too. Now, you can also get these paint easels. See? And you can make little ones. You can even use the center. That's what I did. Now, you see how shiny these are compared to the dull? The shiny ones will come out all glossy and you won't have to shine them up. But the duller ones will come out dull. So what you're going to get is like a clear nail polish. Not a base coat or a top coat, a clear coat of nail polish, the liquidy kind. Don't get one that's thick and that will gel up, because that'll turn yellow and it'll leave streaks and globs. So you want a real liquidy one, and you can tell by like taking the bottle, okay? So remember, the shinier the trays, and I got this one from Resin Obsession, the shinier the trays, the shinier your pendant will be, or whatever you're going to turn it into. See again, see how shiny these are compared to this? It's the same exact tray, except these are shiny and these are dull. And here's more shapes. See, I got the same thing. And the shinier cleans up better. Now you can also, like I said, get these things. I haven't used this. This I have used. And you make little ones. And when you're done, when they're cured, you pop them out. You just like tap them or go like that, and they pop out. And they have a whole bunch of them. And see, they're shiny, so they'll come out shiny. Now, you might scratch the bottom of it with a toothpick, so try to be careful, you know, when you're putting your glitter and your charms and you're going to go like this. If you scratch the bottom, whatever you scratched is going to come out, because the bottom of your tray, the bottoms, are actually going to be the top of your pendant. But, like I said, all you have to do is go over it with a clear coat of the nail polish, okay? And this is a bracelet one, which takes a lot of resin and it's really hard. I have that in my one video where I show you some of the resin jewelry that I made, and that will be in my DIY crafts playlist on my channel. Okay, so now I'm going to put these aside. So you're going to need that. And then the next thing you're going to need is some things to put in it. Now, I'm going to show you some that I made. Do you see this? I used cello glitter. Now there's two different kinds, and if you've watched my videos before, you've seen the videos where I've made cabochons, the glass cabochons with using cello glitter. Well, these will go inside. And this is what it's going to look like. Now the purpley blue comes out much better than the, where is it? Oh, than the white. See, the white doesn't have as much color. It's not as pigmented. But if you're looking for, like, if you're going to use pink on the back or whatever, because you're going to have a lot of nail polishes. That's what we're going to use for paints on the back of it, just like the glass cabochons. So to get the cello glitter, I got these at Hobby Lobby. They have them at Michael's. I don't remember how much they are. You can also order them online. Okay. So this is what I made with the cello glitter. And then, whoops. And then I painted the back of it with black nail polish. That's it. And it wasn't shiny enough, so I put some of the clear nail polish. I laid it flat. When you're painting the top of it to get a gloss, there's a few ways you can do it. One, you could put clear nail polish and you would lay it flat on your wax paper and then let it dry a little bit, and then with a toothpick kind of nudge it a little and then let it dry. And if you see a streak or something, go gently and touch it up again with, you know, your clear nail polish, because you want to get the edges. And you could really pour it on. And look, another thing you can do is you'll have to wait again, because it takes 24 hours for your resin to cure from the time you finish. So when you're completely done pouring your resin, making your jewelry, turn around and look at the time, because say you finish at 11 in the morning, 11 the next day in the morning is when it'll be ready. Don't be impatient. Give it the 24 hours. So from whatever time you finish, it'll be the next day, that same time, that you can check it. Don't keep opening up the plastic tote to check on it. You'll mess up with the curing. The air will get to it, dust might get to it, you might shake it and shift it, and you're going to want to put that tote somewhere where it won't be disturbed. Like, I'm going to put it in the laundry room, but I have no laundry to be done. You don't want to put it on something that's going to shake, like on top of your microwave, because it vibrates. You don't want to do that. My camera shut off on me. I'm not sure why. Might have been sitting for too long, so I don't know where I'm at, but when I edit, I'll know. Okay, so you have these that I have made. Another thing you can make is you can get charms. Look, and I found these, like, this was a little off center. See, sometimes it shifts. That's why I say you want to make sure they're not shifting. You don't want to put it on a surface that's going to vibrate or have a high traffic. You want to put it somewhere where no one's going to disturb it. And it shifted a little, but look, isn't that cute? You can get these at Hobby Lobby. They're a bunch of different cats. I made a whole bunch when I used to make and sell them. And then you might get a piece of it sticking out, but you could always put a backing on it. They have like regular metal backings to each of these sizes, or you can get a pendant tray, because I also, for the square, this is a pendant tray. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and they mostly fit a lot of these. Let's see, do I have a square? Well, that's a little bigger, but you get the idea. See, this is another one where I used seashells, and I put a piece of cardstock on it. I got a little glue, and you could put a pendant veil on the back, or you can get a Dremel, which I have, and you can drill a hole before you paint it and clean that up. Put some like clear nail polish, make sure. Then you can put like a piece of wire and make a pendant veil if you didn't want to glue it on the back. Here's something else I made. I bought a bunch of these little pendant trays, and I painted it red in the inside of the pendant tray, and then I sprinkled some cello glitter on it, and then I dripped with a toothpick, because this isn't very deep. I dripped my resin and let it cure, and once it's cure, I dripped more resin to give it a domed effect, and I let it cure for another 24 hours. You have to have a lot of patience. So that's something else, and then I hung a charm on it. I don't know if you can see. Okay, so another thing I did was seashells. I popped out 2 of them. You can get the round ones. You get the 2 halves, and before you trim and clean them, you can get a pendant veil, a thin one, not a big fat chunky one, and put some of the E6000 glue and put the pendant veil, hold the 2 ends and hold it together for a little bit until it's sitting like that, or put some weight on it like a soft phone book or something soft, and that will be like that. Or you could get like a wire and let that dry and then curl it to be like a pendant veil, or you can get a Dremel and drill right through the top on either side and make your own hook, and so this way you have a 2-sided pendant. Okay, and different shapes. See, the pendant tray fell off, but I just painted the back and put some glitter. If you didn't find a pendant tray or have a backing, you can just paint it and make it nice. That's cello glitter. It's another one with seashells. And I added cello glitter to this as well, and I just painted it. Now, sometimes a little bit of the shell might stick out, but if it's for yourself, that's not a big deal, but if you're going to make them to sell, you want to be a little careful. Oh, this one I have, it's on a pendant tray, and it has, let's see, and it has all the seashells, and I painted it blue. And this one, I put like something I printed out with high gloss paper, okay? So I have that. And you can make a lot of different things. So those are some ideas. And like I said, you can get pendant trays and backings from the store, like these. Oops. I put the wrong cups on. Another thing that you can use, now this was a pendant tray that I got, and I painted the back and I put these little chips. These are things that you can get at a craft store or a Walmart or a doll store, you know, like you put in your vase fillers. And then I just took my stir stick and poured, like let it drip, and then I took my toothpick and let the resin drip, drip, drip. And later you can go and pick it off. I put it to dry. When I did this, it was sitting on my wax paper, and I would drip. You got to have a steady hand and go very slow. And then I picked it off of the wax paper, and you might have to trim and pull some of it off. You can stick it in the freezer for 5 minutes. It comes off easy. Or what you could also do is put really good, don't buy the cheap masking tape, really good masking tape before you do it, and wrap it all around. So then all you have to do is rip that off, and you won't get resin. So that's how I did that one. You can see it's kind of stacked. Now I'm going to show you other stuff in a minute. Okay, what you can do is get some seashells. They come in a bag, and I got these at Hobby Lobby, or if you live by the beach, but you want to get small ones. You can get one big one or a few, but it's an assortment, and it looks like that. Or you can get charms, and if you get something like this, you can get your jewelry tools like this, and then you can just nip this off like so. And then see this piece, you just like get a nail file, a metal nail file or a Dremel, and just sand that down. But then make sure that any of those pieces, be careful because it tends to shoot out. So then just smooth it out, and then they're going to go inside the tray, and I'll show you how to do all of that. Okay, so those are all the things you're going to need, and that's the way you use it. And so for my next video, I'm going to show you how to make it. We're going to pour it and make it. You could also get charms like this. They're a bit raised as well. See, these are dolphins and flowers, and you could put that inside. Okay, and oh, I forgot, you could pour glitter inside, as well as cello glitter. And then when you paint the backs, you can use nail polish glitter, you know, glittery nail polish, and then put your paint over it. Like I did, if you look at my one video where I gave you some ideas, some with seashells, and I used different colors. What I did was I used some glitter nail polish, and then I used a nail polish color that looked like sand, so it looked like the seashells were laying on the sand. Or you could use nail polish glitter and also some regular glitter and just sprinkle it, and then wait for that to dry, and then add your color to the back of it. Once that's all dry, and inside you could use this, you could have a combination of seashells with this. Just, I'll show you how to do all that. So those are the ideas. These are the things you're going to need. So I will get this all ready to upload, and I'm going to start my next video by making the resin on this one. And then my next video after this will be showing you what happens when they cure, what they look like, what you do with them, and what you can make. Okay, thank you. See you later.